It's October, finally spooky season. The air shifts, the nights stretch, the shadows linger a little longer. Everything just feels a little thinner, more permeable, like the veil between things is wearing thin. Now don't get me wrong, I love Halloween and I love horror, but lately I've been craving games that don't shout in your face as much as whisper. Games that haunt, games that linger a little longer. So here's my October playlist of point-and-click adventure games that are perfectly paranormal. Some are spooky, some are sad, some are like sipping a ghost story through a straw. So if you're into haunted clicks and games that may hang around in your head for just a little longer, stick around. The Supper, a tiny tale of revenge, rot, and exquisite plating. You're Miss Appleton, a tavern keeper with a very specific menu and a ghost in your ear. This short, twisted gem is less than 30 minutes long, but delivers full-bodied dread with a delightful, citrusy moral finish. I would use it to set the tone. It's neat, spooky, and delightfully digestible. The Last Door. Here we have Victorian horror in 8-bit ink. You play a man unraveling a past that's best left buried, guided by creaky doors, dead birds, and a string quartet that might know too much. The pixel art is minimal, the sound design is maximum dread. It's episodic so you can suspend play between chapters, ideal for pacing these autumn nights. The Will of Arthur Flabbington. You play Jack Flabbington, left out of the will but drawn to the hunt anyway. When you summon your uncle's spirit via a psychic ritual, things don't go quite as planned. You end up tied to a ghost who isn't your uncle, and together you'll traipse through towns, cemeteries, and weird cafes to unearth secrets. It's slipshod, silly, a bit campy, but charming nonetheless. Hauntings of Mystery Manor. You return to a mansion you left behind years ago, and find it inhabited by restless spirits. This indie AGS game is classic haunted house fare. Explore rooms, talk to ghosts, solve puzzles, and peel back the layers on old tragedies. It's more atmospheric than scary. I should probably mention that this game is older. It's actually older than I thought it was. It's 20 years old, but you can still download it. Fran Bow, a children's storybook painted in blood. You're Fran, a traumatized girl with a cat escaping a brutal asylum and navigating twisted alternate realities. Expect puzzles, grief, and unsettling creatures drawn in delicate storybook styles. Gorgeous, horrifying, deeply sad. Heed this advice and play it in chunks, when your heart can handle the heaviness. Rusty Lake, Roots. A cursed family tree where everyone dies creatively. Every level is a moment in life, until it's not. Generational eerie tales told in vignettes. Symbolic, surreal, and lightly bloodstained. Each room is its own puzzle, and each solution leaves you with more questions than answers. Their connections become spooky sigils you must decipher. Midnight Scenes. Tiny Twilight Zone-style horror stories for people who loved Goosebumps and still check under the bed. These are short, standalone horror vignettes. Think black and white TV episodes that you were never meant to see. The stories are sharp, the tone is moody, and they're just the right length for a quick scare before bed. Great palate cleansers between heavier games. Who's Lila? This is a psychological horror game where you manipulate your own facial muscles to smile, frown, or pretend to feel. It's weird, glitchy, and brilliant. And it might be about dissociation, murder, identity, collapse, and the void. It also might be about high school. Hard to say. Detention. A school-turned-prison haunted by politics and memory. Set in 1960s Taiwan during martial law, this side-scrolling horror game uses ghosts to explore censorship, loss, and guilt. It's poetic, it's terrifying, and the monsters are more metaphor than jump scare, though it is still scary as hell. This one lingers. The Blackwell Series. A medium, a ghost, and a lot of unfinished business. You help restless spirits move on, one New York haunting at a time. It's thoughtful, funny, and beautifully written. More heartfelt than horrifying, but still full of spectral sweetness. Cabernet, Set in a 19th century Eastern European city full of locked doors and tighter social circles, Cabernet is a slow, narrative-heavy descent into the life of Lisa, a newly turned vampire and newly trained doctor. The art is Gothic paper doll. By night you roam. You choose who to charm, who to feed on, who to let go. You study, not just medicine, but history, literature, science, anything to hold on to the world that's slipping away. Cabernet isn't about jump scares or combat. It's about control, about addiction, about that quiet tug of war between creeping nihilism of eternal life and the hope that maybe, just maybe, there's something worth holding on to. You may be immortal, but do you have to be immoral? If you like your horror meditative, your vampires conflicted, and your choice is messy, Cabernet belongs in your queue. The Phantom Fellows. You play as Oliver and Engelbert, one living, one dead, running a charmingly underfunded paranormal investigation service. You swap between the two to talk to the dead or the living, and solve mysteries with both logic and ghostly intuition. It's wholesome, spooky, and genuinely clever. And just about everything you interact with has associated dialogue. So if you're like me and like to click on absolutely everything for no reason, you'll get a kick out of this too. And here's something wishlist worthy. Not yet fully released, but its promise is so good I'm putting it on the list. You play Gigi, an 8-year-old who stumbles into her grandpa's secret as a famous ghost hunter. With a talking pumpkin demon sidekick, she ventures into the world of the dead. The mechanics look like old school point and click complete with a hint system and hotspot highlights. A good future haunt. This is my paranormal playlist. What's on yours?